Hi and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. I debated whether or not to do this. Sat in the warm, dry office. And me being me, I ended up doing it. Sat on the freezing cold promenade. I've got the seagulls stalking me. There's one here that's peeping, there's one here that's peeping. I think they think I've got some food. They're making that begging noise that they do. But somebody has sent me a link to an article. In fact, I'll show you. I've got a print out of it here, look. Somebody has sent me a link to an article that they'd seen on the Sunday Times. So it's printed it in very big writing, so it's sort of chopped it in two. But the title is Blackpool, the unlikely star of bucket list holidays. Not bucket list as in rubbish, but bucket list as in the things that you need to do. The things that you need to do before you kick the bucket. So I thought it would make quite an interesting vlog. Shame the sun's not shining and it's not cracking the flags, but never mind. It's March in Britain, and when it's cold, it's cold. Before we get any further, before we get into the meat and bones of this one, don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed and make sure that you've hit the little bell for notifications, because there's loads of videos coming up and it won't always be cold. I'm just looking at this seagull watching me. Got an audience. It won't always be cold, apart from the fact that there's a freezing gale blowing round my ear. And soon, very soon, it will be lovely weather, and there's loads of new videos to come. So the gist of the article in the Times is that you'll all want to come to Blackpool this year. And it was in the travel section. Now, my darling dad, T-Boy, gets the Sunday Times. He watches it on his iPad now, reads it on his iPad. For years and years and years, we had piles of paper all over the house on a Sunday. And he'd not mentioned it to me. Apparently it was in the travel section, which made sense because he doesn't look at the travel section because there's never anything up north in the travel section. It's always sort of pretty little seaside villages and that kind of thing. And this article was in the Times on last weekend, I believe. Let's have a look, see if there's a date on it. Yeah, 26th of February 2023. So that was this weekend, weren't it? This Sunday just gone. And it was in the travel section by Chief Haslam, the chief travel writer. And he made the point that Blackpool has been covered in the Sunday Times travel section just 3 times in 10 years. And Salcombe in Devon has been mentioned 30 plus times by comparison in 3 years. So that shows you how biased people are towards Blackpool, which is not really fair, is it? Which also explains why T-Boy had not seen it. But it's a very good article. It's very positive. So if you've still got access to it, I would recommend you have a read at it. And it makes the point that in 2021 there were 18.8 million visitors came to Blackpool, and it added £1.4 billion to the local economy. And it's bigger than Brighton, Bournemouth, St Ives, pretty St Ives, but it gets a fraction of the coverage, and that's not really fair, is it? It's not really fair. So just down there, we've walked around it numerous times, we've looked at it a lot, we'll be going back, we'll be looking at it again, is Blackpool Central, which was the biggest railway station in the world in 1911. In 1981, the 6,000 Blackpool Council deck chairs were all hired out during the summer, so they were all in use, they were all sat on, sunbathed on, and enjoyed the seafront. But Blackpool struck the bottom of its trough in about 2014 when the 6,000 remaining deck chairs were flogged off, which is a bit of a shame. But they're back now, and down there, just at this side of Central Pier, you can get a deck chair in the summer season, and you can tie a knotted anchor and put it on your head and sit and enjoy the sun. So this article goes on to explain in great detail how many brilliant things there are about Blackpool. Of course, the one and only Blackpool Tower, the country's only tower. We've got the 88-year-old Grand National at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. We've got the country's biggest indoor water park down there, just across the road from the Pleasure Beach. We've got 3 piers, where a lot of places struggle to manage one. 6 miles of glorious beaches, but not today, it's a bit cold today. And if you read Nick Moore's History of Blackpool, the link to which is in the description underneath this video, you can find out loads of interesting historical facts, because there's loads of Blackpool firsts. Well, there's loads of British firsts that happened here in Blackpool. That's what I'm trying to say. So last week at the end of February 2023, Sykes' Holiday Cottagers published the results of their survey, which named Blackpool as the nation's best value holiday destination. And there's loads of stuff like this that you've got to pay money for, and if you wanted to, you could absolutely melt your money in Blackpool. You could spend as much as you wanted to, but you can also have a nice, cheap or free holiday even. Well, free is perhaps stretching it a bit, but certainly cheap. There's something for everybody. There's holiday accommodation for everybody, from a cheap and cheerful £10 bed for a night to a really fancy, posh, lovely, delicious luxury guest accommodation. There's all kinds of events. There's the air show, there's the switch on, there's the fireworks. There's loads of stuff that happens that's free, and that's apart from things like Stanley Park, the beach, and all the other stuff that you can do as well. And then in 2023, there are new things opening as well. So you'll have seen the news recently that the Gruffalo is opening underneath the Sea Life Centre. The IMAX is opening, which is being built as we speak at the side of the Hounshill Shopping Centre. The tram extension is this way, which you can catch your tram up to North Station and then connect to the train. So there's loads of stuff going on. And apparently by 2030, here's the fact that you might have not known, by 2030 a lot of the Med is going to be too hot and too dry for a holiday. So I'm doing lots of pointing, aren't I? I'm doing lots of pointing and wagging my finger. So I think it's fair to say that the guy from the Sunday Times, I think Chris Haslam from the Sunday Times, is absolutely bob on the money. I think you need to put Blackpool on your bucket list. I think you need to make sure that you come in here on holiday at least once this year, because it's a great place. I'm going to stand up now. It's a great place for weekends. It's a great place for day trips. Look, these are my 2 little friends that have been watching me. This one, I think that's the male, I would say. It's a guess. That's the male, and I reckon that's Missy Skull. Might be Nigel, the call, and I've got a little pigeon as well, look, for accompaniment. So I think you need to put Blackpool, I think you need to take the guy's advice and put Blackpool on your bucket list and make sure that you come here at least once this year. Even on a day like today when it's cold, look, there's always work going on. These guys are cleaning all of the windbreaks and putting them back into storage. And even on a cold day, it's still lovely. The wildlife are very friendly, as you can see. Look, Percy Pigeon is helping me. There's all the comedy carpet. You can spend a cheerful hour reading that on a sunny day. So, from a very cool Blackpool seafront, that's Odyssey, by the way, if you're wondering what the animals are, the purple ones. From a very cool Blackpool seafront, you'll get your holiday booked. Don't forget to have a look at the Stay Blackpool and Visit Fylde Coast Accommodation Guide for safe, trusted and clean accommodation. And until next time, let's hope it's a bit warmer next time. We will see you soon. Bye, Nigel. Bye for now.